I just ran across this obituary that I had cut out of the paper this past summer. Bonnie Wright, 57, of Grover Beach, California, passed away July 8, 2013. Although she had family in the area, Bonnie had chosen to live a homeless lifestyle for the past 12 years. There was no accompanying photograph, but I'm almost certain it's the Ice Queen. I never did know her real name. I didn't know that she had family in the area. I didn't realize that she was living a life of choice. I'd begun to see her regularly at Johnson's Market in Oceano, but haven't seen her since July of this year. I knew nothing about her, and this obituary saddened me. I grieved the fact that I would never be able to thank her for being such an important teacher for me. I was disappointed that I would never again receive the kind of life lessons that only the Ice Queen, only Bonnie, could offer me. Lately, I've found myself wondering about the fate of another queen as well, my beloved Queen of Average. I've proudly remained friends with all of my exes, from the relationship that ended very recently, all the way back to high school, including Paige, a native New Orleans beauty who remains to this day one of my most trusted confidants. But Sophie, the Queen of Average, I haven't heard from in 3 years. The last I know, she moved to Cambria, which is nearby but known for its reclusive residence. She's married now, and I don't know her last name, I don't know her phone number. She has no family to contact. I miss her, and lately I've felt this worry about her, and just like my mama raised me, I'm not a worrier. The last contact that I had with her was 3 years ago, in the beach parking lot at the end of Highway 41 in Morro Bay, California.
Michael!
I turned to follow the voice, finding a car some 50 feet away with a woman inside waving at me. Her face was in shadow, and I could only make out one eye and some blonde hair, but is that? Although I was momentarily thrown by the fact that her waist-length chestnut hair was now fashioned into a blonde bob cut, the deep, soulful, penetrating gaze of those brown eyes was unmistakable and could only belong to one woman on the planet. Sophie! I hadn't seen her in 2 years. We shared a long, warm hug. We sat in her car and caught up on life. At one point, she said, "Remember when I told you that I thought I might have a lump in my breast?" Before I could answer yes, and without warning, she pulled up her shirt and revealed the most crude, butchered-looking scar where once had been a beautiful breast. She was obviously resigned to it by this time, and with a smile in her sweet, soft voice asked, "Remember how pretty my little B-cups were?" She laughed. "Yes, I do. I remember perfectly," managing to laugh right along with her. She told me about the surgery and the chemo, and then, as if she'd forgotten about it, said, "So you like the hair, huh?" Before I could tell her again how much I loved it, she pulled off the blonde bob-cut wig to reveal a mostly bald head with little patches and wisps of hair. She had a perfectly shaped head and actually would have looked really cute with it clean-shaven. The patchiness was one thing. The wisps of hair, though, broke my heart. Hell, it chainsawed my heart. Just like someone had chainsawed her breast away. I deserve an Oscar for how I visibly kept my shit together. She was perfectly fine with all of it, joking about it and happy. The Queen of Acceptance, always. We talked more, none of which I can remember now, but when we parted ways, I cried like I've never cried before or since. And that's the last time I've heard from her. 3 years. Surely I could do some sort of internet search and find her, but Sophie intentionally, and for good reason, cut her mother out of her life forever. She needed to let go of the painfully tragic ties to her past, and I think she's included me in that disconnection. I choose to honor her choice, but it does leave me wondering if she's even on the planet anymore. I wrote the song Queen of Average when Sophie and I became engaged, and after we broke up, I couldn't play the song for 2 years without breaking down in the middle of it. An amazing thing about writing songs, though, is witnessing how they grow and shift within my life, taking on new meaning. Queen of Average began to reflect many women in my life and in the world at large, with Sophie always remaining at the core. Lately, though, with my worry about her, the song has reverted to being entirely her again, and I simply can't play it. I won't even attempt it. Not right now. It pains me to realize now that although my song about her reflects her spiritual nature, her inner beauty, and my adoration of her, I failed to mention the strength of the strongest person I've ever met. But hey, I never claimed to be a journalist. When people are important in our lives, those queen-like women and kingly men, the saviors, the warriors, our personal heroes, we need to honor them however we can. And sometimes honoring them means leaving them be, which is most difficult, because they could disappear forever without a trace. So to Sophie and to Bonnie, I raise my glass. God bless the Queen.